My problem is that I have too many ideas. So almost as a rule, I don't write them down. And what happened is that there is kind of a vicious evolution of those ideas, because I've made many ideas in my mind, but when I sit down and write, there is one that pops up. This is the one that survived, I can say to you that yesterday I went to this event, and we've met there a couple, and there was something very nice that the husband, every time he started saying a sentence, his wife completed the sentence. So he said, "Oh, we just came," and she said, "from Europe," and he said, "and we had a wonderful time, but the best part was," and she said, "when we were in Paris," and and there was something in this symbiotic existence that was very nice. And the moment I saw it, I thought, what would happen if they separate, and the man could only start his sentences but could never end them, because he will be stuck only. So I thought about this, and then I thought about something else, and maybe by the time I return home, I will forget it. But I believe that even if I forget those ideas, it's not that they disappear. It's just they sink in the ocean of your subconscious, and sometimes they re-emerge in the middle of a story. They kind of come just when you need them, and an old idea kind of integrates itself into the story. And as for the writing process, I make it a point to know as little as I can about a story when I sit down to write it, because I think that the more curious and excited I am about the story, the stronger engine I have to create it. The thing that I fear the most is writing a story that will be just executing an idea, saying, okay, I have a great idea, I write it down. I really like it when there is something vivid, and when your character enters the room and somebody points a gun at him and you don't know if he's going to live or die, because when you don't know it and when you're scared about it, then somehow something of this energy gets into the story, and after that is observed by the reader. When you write down an idea it's like a living creature. So it's basically like catching a butterfly. When you have a butterfly in your album, it has the shape of a butterfly, but it's not a butterfly anymore. It cannot fly. It doesn't move in the air. It becomes something static. And I feel many times that the only way to keep an idea is to write a story out of it. If you don't write a story out of it, you have an empty shell that doesn't contain the emotion or the feelings that you have when the idea comes to your mind. Well, I think that the most important thing to remember when you sit down to write a story is that you shouldn't feel as if you're taking part in a very important action. I think that writing a story should be something that you should do as freely as thinking a thought. I think that, many times I meet people that when they write, they want to write the great American novel or the great Taiwanese novel, or something that would kind of justify the action of writing, as if you either write a masterpiece or you're not allowed to write. The way that I see it when it comes to writing is very much like performing a very complicated acrobatic trick, like in a circus, knowing that you have a safety net. You write something, it doesn't matter if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, if it's important or stupid, but you just write it, and you know that the bottom line would be that if it won't be good, nobody's going to read it. So I think that when you write, you shouldn't kind of have in your thought, eternity and I don't know the big library keeping your books or anything. You should just think that what you're doing is passing your time. For me, in a sense, Writing a story is an activity like playing with my child or going on a walk or watching TV. And when I do all those things, I do them because I enjoy them. I don't do them because I want people to carve my face in a mountain, you know. And I think that if you allow yourself to do that, then you won't have this kind of self-destructive mechanism that many writers have. They say, oh, after 3 sentences it's not good enough, or you won't have this kind of ideas that you have to write only about important topics. Because I think that in the end, what makes a story good is not how important or original the topic is, but how important it is to you and to your heart. So if you're passionate about something, you know, you can write a story that will move the readers, even if the topic in itself is not a topic that seems to be kind of there in the pantheon of art and literature.